Everybody, welcome to the roundtable tonight. And today we're going to talk about something very, very important. I'm going to also tell you a story about a good dear friend of mine. And what it takes me to this point is because, again, as I clean up the group and I realized that a lot of people getting results, but most of the people that getting results is because they have a story behind. You know, that they have a story about their life. They have a story about whether or not they engage in food for that or not, but also there is something very difficult happening, you know, in all your lives in order for you to see results. Because I said it many times. I was actually talking the other day with Pilar about it. I like to get people commitment for you to do the work to get results, but in all reality, it's never about commitment. It's about people doing the right action to get results. Okay, and this only happens if you're driven enough. And sometimes, you know, to be driven, it really comes from something you experience in your life. Either you were somehow you were like that before, and then you change, or kind of like you still somewhat hard, and you still want to drift away from that. And as you get to do that, you're very much driven to get results, and your action speaks louder than words, because you know you realize that you got here in the second chance, and you see what we gave you, like we see the support, you see that this thing is working from you, and you realize that you're so much in a good place right now that, you know, going back to revert to your old self, it would be kind of difficult, right? So this is how we see people. This is how I see people getting results. The people I see the huge change, not only in body. Like I was talking yesterday to Mimi. Mimi, she's one of them. Connie, she's another one of them. We got Lorna here that completely changed her body and look, and not only everything else. We got Georgia here, Elena, like we got Adrina, like all the name I mentioned. We got Suzanne, of course. How can I forget? And of course Maria on top. Look, like all of you have somewhat. Not only you put in the work, but you realize that putting in the work requires, you know, not just to want to change temporarily, right? And this message that I want to talk about today, it's really, we're talking about, sorry, I have to mute one of you. Yeah. Who is it that is still not muted? That I still back? Okay, cool. Should be everybody. So, girls, we're gonna explain this thing. You're either gonna pay a price up front, like I'm talking now about price in terms of health. You're either paying a price up front in life, or you're paying one on the back end. But you pay before, you pay like you're doing the work, you put in the reps, you go into the gym, you get diligent with your nutrition, you do whatever it takes. You know, I just finished talking to somebody on the phone before this. You know, we're doing inboarding calls to see who wants to join, and she said she wanted to change. She was very committed to change, and you know, at the end, when I say, look, since she seemed to had a money problem, I said, look, the best thing I can do, you know, you come in, you know, just try us out for 6 weeks. We try you out as well as you try me out, and then if you like it, you know, like you can continue. And I said, can you tell me a little bit more about what you do? And I said, I just linked a video before this phone call about getting, like, to see our philosophy, right? Did you watch it? And she said, I just started watching, but it was not so much engaging. You know, I kind of got bored, and I kind of like, you know, and I said, if you're not going to watch 5 minutes of video, how are you going to do 6 weeks of the work I'm telling you to do, right? And it's like, if you come in with the idea that you want to change, but you want to do whatever you want to change, this is not a program for you, and in fact, you're never gonna find it. This is how you don't get things done, right? So, without doing any names, person that like you can actually pay something up front, and you can come in to me and say, look, I'm your girl. I'm gonna do whatever it takes. I'm gonna do whatever you said, and you know, you start understanding that it's no longer about a strategy. It's no longer about a simple diet. You pay price every single day. We all pay prices here, like you here. You all pay the price because you realize that it takes more than just a strategy to get things done, right? And it takes more than just a week, and it takes more than 6 weeks. It's probably take more over for most of you. It probably will take longer than 12 weeks too. And realistically, if you do that, this is the small price you pay, because it sucks sometimes because it's very difficult to do it all the time. But it's much better to stay at how you were before. Because if you're here and you got committed, it's because what you were before you didn't like, right? This is how you pay the price up front. You pay you understand that you need to sacrifice. You need to sacrifice time with your families. You need to sacrifice. You need to sacrifice effort. You need to sacrifice. You need to get committed in things, right? I see Marisa here, and Marisa, I'm going to use her as an example because Marisa, she told me, the first message she told me, she's like, I really want to change. Before even talking to me, I really want to change, but I have financial problem. And I said, get on the phone with me because I want to see what I can do. And like we spoke, she saw the value in the program. And and I said to her, we found something that we can actually do, right? And then her husband almost said to her, no, don't pay this guy because this look like a scam. And she said, she convinced him that it wasn't, and she wanted to do it. Like, this is a person that is committed because I sold you in the idea that you need to change. Whether or not I would have done it for free for her, she would have changed. She's here and she already lost 1 kilo in about 3 days. She's here because you get committed to something that you want, right? You understand that it sucks. You need to pay the price every single day. And I use her as an example because most of the time we try to tell people this is the right thing, and they say, oh no, I want to talk with my husband. And it's like, okay, do you need permission to change? I mean, do you really want to change, or you kind of want to, or you're not sure? Because it's so easy to say you're committed, but then how is it that you're not when it comes to actually take action? Because you kind of live in this idea, right? That you can kind of want to change, but because somebody maybe told you to change, because you have some kind of a confidence problem. But then it's good to think that you can change, but it's not as easy to change because it requires work. And this is kind of paying the price up front. The price you can decide to pay later, right? And this is kind of unconscious sometimes. Is the price you pay later, it's a price that end up in divorces, end up in, suicidal, end up in depression, end up in stuff like not being confident and, then falling maybe into worse things. And these things is the price in diseases. I'm going to get to why I'm talking about diseases here. This is the price people that try to live freely. Everybody want to do whatever they want. They say, I'm going to think about it tomorrow. I'm going to eat just one more cookie today or whatever. I'm not going to think whatever happens tomorrow, right? Or the people that say, yeah, I don't want to invest in my health, but yet you have enough money to get a Louis Vuitton, or somehow whenever a new iPhone is out, I never see problem. The kids of 5 years old kids today have iPhones from moms. They won't invest in the gym. This is how freely we are getting to live right now. And that the problem is that this is the price you pay in later. The problem is that this takes me to whatever I want to talk about. The price you pay later is much more expensive than the price you're going to pay before. And this is people unfortunately don't realize. I had a good friend of mine. I said it multiple times, but this is what I want to talk about. A person that was very committed. He was a guy. He was my age, and this guy was like a brother to me because I wouldn't be here like I am talking to you today if it wasn't for him. In my degree, he was a math teacher, and in my degree, he helped me so much because if he wouldn't have helped me with statistics, I would never have passed, and I would never have taken my degree. Okay. So this guy developed something that is so rare. I don't know if anyone of you know it. Apologies if I'm getting a little bit emotional, okay? So this guy developed what is called glioblastoma, which is a rare form of cancer to your head that basically 3% of the people get, okay? And when this happened, this guy was extremely overweight. He was probably always around the 105, 110 kilo. And I used to tell him all the time, it's as cancer is not something that you get just by eating that or what. There is the environment, there is genetics, there is part of it is whatever you eat. There is certain things, but I tell him all the time, look, you gotta work out. You gotta it doesn't matter how you eat, but you need to get yourself to 25%, at least 20% in men. If you get to 15%, it's gonna be amazing. But you do need to do your best because if you don't, something bad might happen. And when I remember telling him, because I used to tell him all the time, and it's this is not a guy that goes out and have fun. This was not a guy that used to party or smoke or drink all the time. It was nothing like me. Like I was definitely worse. And then the first time we went out together, he had 25 years because he was one of those people that he was like a role model. He was going to school. He finished off his master degree and going towards that. Even he was thinking about doing a doctorate. And then like he ended up teaching to, first, they offer so many jobs in mathematics in middle school, right? But then like he didn't want to, he wanted to teach in university. So like the university in Liceo, which is basically, I don't know how to translate it in English. It's kind of like high school, but a little bit more than high school. So he put so much, he was so like the best on what he was doing, and he loved the job. Okay, so he was also so stressed about it, right? Because like he was doing on a side, he was also helping kids, on doing all that. And one time I was living in US, and he called me up and he said, a friend of mine told him if he felt bad, right? And then like he called me up and he said, like they found something like in my head, and like he gave me a name of that thing what it was, and I researched and I said, are you sure it's that? Because he said it like almost it was a simple flu that he had. Are you sure that it's that? Right? And when he said, yeah, it's that, I'm gonna have to do chemo, I'm gonna have to be there for a while. And I said to him, like I remember feeling really bad, and I was like statistic is what it is. Like statistic gives people that take this thing about maybe 17% they live probably longer than 2 or 3 years. Otherwise, like you would like either they are in 6 months they're done, or maybe if you're 5% live about 5 years. So it's like that it's like that you're in borrowed time. Okay, and then it's when he realized that he had to do something about it. Like it's like, I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna do whatever it takes. I'm like, the sad thing about this guy is a few things about this guy that I said. Number one, not just because I felt like a brother, but number one is because this guy is not somebody that was living freely. He's not somebody that didn't care. He just didn't. He couldn't help it by changing his health, because like even I was doing the best I could. Like he was having problem like many people have here about motivation, about doing things. He was so much inside his job that he wouldn't see anything. He loved his job, but he was also getting stressed about his job, and he was so much drifted on that. Right? I was like, I'm gonna I'm working out. I'm gonna think about it later, and I would have bet in. I could have put 1,000 francs here, and I could have bet that he was gonna get in the future diabetes. I could have say maybe even an heart attack or heart attack. I would never have thought that it was gonna happen something like that. The sad part it was cool for about 2 years, and he changed his life. He started going to the gym. He went to work, to work out. He went to swim all the time, and last year, around this time last year, he called me up one time and it's like, oh, I'm seeing weird things, and like I found out I got recovered in the hospital. I had to go into the hospital because there is like an infection, like something like a virus around or something and it was speaking like crazy, right? And then I realized that something was up, and like probably a month after, like he passed away. And basically, I would love to say that he ended up in a good way, but he didn't, right? He was in borrowed time. That's what he was. And this is to say, if this is gonna teach anyone, it's like the price you pay after is more expensive. And like sometimes when you realize that, he told me one time, and it's like, this thing gave me a good kick in my butt, and now I know what I have to do. It's like, yeah, but like sometimes, unfortunately, it's too late. So people need to understand that if you do something, it's not for me, it's not for your coach, it's not even for your family, it's for you. Like, you are more important than everybody else. Some of you, they do things for your family. Some of you do things because you want to feel more confidence, but the thing you do, you need to want to do it. Okay, and this takes me to exactly what I want to talk about next. People live in timelines. You all have a timeline. The question is, are you willing? Your timeline you have. Are you there because you want to be there? Are you there because are you sure that Marissa, don't unmute you, please. I don't know. I have to keep muting people here. So are you living in the timeline you want to live? Because when you say I want to change, like people live in timelines. When I say about timelines, it's like people do things because sometimes you feel like it's normal, right? I'm going to make an example. People have kids, people have family, they build up families, they have kids, they buy houses because like you feel like that's what it needs to be done because society tells you that's what we want to be done. But like the question is, do you really want it? Because when it comes to health, you want to change. Like you tell me in the beginning, you want to change because like you want to be more confident. You want to change because you want to improve. In a split second, you want to do like you really like maybe I'm gonna use somebody, a young girl for an example. I'm not gonna make any name. Like I'm choosing somebody random. Like let's say a new girl come in and it's like I wanna, I wanna improve because I want to improve things with my boyfriend. I want to be more confident. That split second, you want to change on that way. But then as your things improve with your boyfriend organically, you don't want to change anymore. So do you really want to change? Because when you buy a house or when you have a kid, we get this thing all the time. And then like, people tend to, as soon as first problem comes around, people end up splitting up and we have somebody with kids and the kid, divorced parent, right? And why are we drifted off? Like we get drifted off sometimes, but triggers. We get drifted off by stuff that happens. Like if you're overweight, if you feel always stressed, if you feel overstarted, and if you're not motivated, you're gonna feel very, very angry at times with yourself, with other people, and like this thing end up in collision. And then that's what I'm saying. Like when you collide, right? It never ends up well most of the time. So when there is kids in between, when there is houses in between, like you have to ask yourself, do you really want this thing, or you feel like that you think that's what you want, or you really want this thing, right? Same thing is like when you buy a house. This is a good example. You feel like I want to buy a house because it's a process, is what I want to do, right? But then you ask yourself, you know what you're buying, right? Because you're buying debt. You're buying debt. You're gonna buy your debt for the next 20 years. You have to pay every single month or every single year. So do you really want it, or you feel like what you want? It is a good question you need to start asking yourself, because most of the people get drifted off. And what I mean by that is that you think that's what you want, and then as soon as the first collision comes around, boom, something changed and you no longer want it. I'm going to have you consider that, especially in health or in life in general, when you say you wanted something and you really want it, it's not by telling me you want to be committed, right? It's by simply showing it in action. How many times you can relate to that? Like you tell me you want to change, but then your action shows otherwise. Because you do it something for a week, think about any things you can do in life, right? And the determination you have to have that you want it, like it doesn't matter if you say or you don't say it, but when you want something, like you go towards that thing until you reach it, you don't give up. Because only if you give up, that's where you don't get it, right? Otherwise, just don't do it. This is very related to this program, because I have tons of people here, maybe 90%, that at least for now on, that the past few months that I actually get this thing ingrained into people, they say they want something, they work for it. Every single day I see posts, I see things organically happen. And this is exactly what we need to see. We're all driven by fulfillment, but sometimes fulfillment is kind of unhard. Okay, we're going to be talking about fulfillment, in the next roundtable. We're going to talk about the psychology of success, right? And how people succeed and other people don't succeed, right? We have people all the time succeeding. We have people all the time not succeeding. And then we kind of blame and say, how is this possible? It's kind of almost like a cycle repeating, and it's like I'm always on the same stuff. Like you always live in scarcity, you're always on the same place, and like other people are successful. Why is that? And then like you're not fulfilled. So fulfillment is an art, and when I say that is because I'm gonna use an example like Robin Williams. You know the actor Robin Williams, right? This guy like killed himself, and like he was one of the best artists you could find. Like if you think about it, like he could play. Everybody wanted him to play, the funny role, but he got an Oscar for playing something really sad. So he was really happy, but like he hanged himself, right? And why he did that? Like it comes out that when you spend your life try to please other people and you're never thinking about your fulfillment, you end up not being happy. you end up like telling people you want to do something, but then you don't really want it. And if you have to take anything home from tonight, it will really be, at least when it comes to health, this thing was not to make you think like you need to be healthy, or like not, you know, the story I told about my friend. It was not to tell you, oh, now I'm gonna be scared, I'm gonna be healthy now. It's to, whether you're ready to do something or not, I want you to consider and reconsider and say, if I actually do it, what fulfillment is gonna create for me? Okay, because that's very, very important. Okay. Sorry, guys. So cool. So I'm gonna finish off this thing by asking a very important question. And again, when you know that you want to change, like, how do you know that you want to change? Can you measure it? And are you really sure about it? This is the questions, you know, I have for you today. And this is also where I'm going to open the microphones here. Whoever wants to talk, I want to know if anybody has any reflection from what you're taking away from this. Then we're going to pass on the hot seats, and where you can really tell me a little bit about your current situation, or if you need any adjustment about the program itself. Anybody, by raise of hands, want to say anything in regard to, you feel, you know, like you actually committed to do a program, and also to committed to your health, and why? If you want to talk, you can raise your hand. Come on.
Oh, hi. Can you hear me?
Welcome back, Minal. I can hear you. Yes.
Oh, it's Anna here.
Oh, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you can speak. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I had surgery before Christmas. So I had a hysterectomy, and it was quite a serious, quite a long operation, more complicated than I thought. And afterwards, I just didn't feel like me.
We're speaking now, not Minal, right?
No, Anna. Anna Begins.
Anna, yes. So I didn't see your face. Sorry. Yes.
No, that's okay. I'm not sure what my camera's doing.
Okay.
So I had surgery, and it left me feeling, I think, really feeling quite down afterwards about it, because I just didn't feel like my body felt like it normal anymore. So that was my reason, I think, for kind of like wanting to do this, and having something that would kind of like motivate me to get started again, and start feeling like me again.
That's good. Yeah, you're in a good place. Like, I saw what you did in the last 2 weeks, and I'm pretty happy of what I'm seeing. Like, your body is paying off well to the work you're putting in. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Yes. Minal, do you want to talk right now, Minal?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. So, hi, Jerry. Hi, ladies. You know what? I kind of think I'm going to first say something that's going to sound like I don't agree with you. It's just I'm having a different experience, and I think maybe there's a few who might have this different experience. So I don't want to tell you how old I am, but now that you guys have seen how I look and my percentage body weight, it doesn't matter to say I'm 45 years old, and ever since I was in high school, which was several decades ago, I used to wake up and work out before I went to high school. And on and off, have done Weight Watchers and this and that. Until your chart told me I'm obese, I've never thought of myself as obese. I've never been where I wanted to be. And a few years ago, in 2012, I had foot surgery. And since then, I've been working out 5 days a week, every week. The crazy thing is, kind of coming to my point, is I don't think I've ever actually had results from the fact that I'm committed to doing what I do. So when you, like now, I've done this 5 bites thing where you only eat 500 calories. And I've done, tried to be so good during the weekdays because we have a lot of friends, so we drink a lot over the weekends, as Jerry, I've told you about. But that means I would make up the calorie loss that I had during the week on weekends. So the weird thing is, like when you say, oh, am I committed or motivated? I feel like I don't even relate to that, because I'm like, if I have an agenda, I don't sit around thinking, am I committed or motivated over and over again. That is my like mission, and I'm going there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do whatever you or whatever program I'm following tells me.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you, I'm having the weirdest, awesomest feeling, because you said I should eat 1,500 calories, and to begin with, I was eating 1,000 because I thought, wow, I'll be so good.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized when you were giving advice to somebody else that my goodness was actually, again, me just being in that psycho world of trying to, work the calories and blah, blah. And like now,
yeah, you see,
I'm actually not working hard.
Yeah.
I'm actually working out less than I've ever worked out.
Yeah.
And frankly, I see it in the mirror and I'm like, oh. So then Monday, I Googled this, but it's not really a thing. But I was like, oh shit, I need to be in flow. Because on a completely separate note, I have my own startup,
Mm-hmm.
which is like another mega crazy, a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully the rewards will show up one day. But in that process, I'm having to do sales for the first time in my life, like literally cold calling.
Yeah.
And 4 sales coaches have separately told me, oh, enjoy it, have fun with it. And I'm like, what the hell kind of talk is that? So then I'm like, oh, it's like the same thing that I'm doing with you. Because, as human beings, eating should be like breathing. I mean, if a century from now there's people walking around who need to be taught how to breathe again, it would be like learning how to just eat like a normal person, because we are like normal people. And I feel like it's the first time where I just feel like a normal person. I mean, working out, I am now working out 4 days a week, but they're not like this boot camp, get up at crazy hour, do the thing I really hate, but wow, I did it, So in fact, I think the reason I'm like trying to tell my sister and anybody else about the program is more like it should be like normal life.
Yeah.
With some sensibility to it, and not like another thing where I'm working like crazy to have a little result.
Yeah.
And when you talk about timeline, it's like, I'm not going to be around forever, and my whole life shouldn't be just a punishment to have that body for summer and to do this for that one dress.
Absolutely.
So I really feel like what you're saying is actually not resonating to me as, am I willing to put in the work? Because I feel like I've always been willing to put in the work, but now it's like, oh, I don't need to put in that much work. I just need to do something inside of this balanced way, which is way better for me.
Yeah.
And I hope that's.
Yeah. I don't want you to confuse the two things. Now, I'm gonna give you a few advice in everything. Like as far as the cold calling, I don't know what you're selling. We like I see it, and I'm gonna give you the same advice. You have to actually enjoy the process. Like your business, you have to, whatever business is, like if you see the work, going to work, for most people is something heavy they don't want to do. Having a career is something actually fulfilling, right? Having a mission is something that would give you energy. Okay, so like you need to love. I don't know what, like if you're selling quote unquote service. We sell results here, and when I have my quote unquote sales call, I call it coaching calls. I have my team calling coaching calls. Coaching is selling, and selling is coaching, like in my world, because like you need to be able to, and what I can, the advice I can give you, because it's easy for business coach to give you advice, but then like they are very good on doing it, right? And you're just starting, so that's the problem. So just there is a science to it. Just get somebody good, but then yes, enjoy it, because like in anything, like in life, like in health, you need to love the process. You cannot live by the destination. We are very much in this idea of instant gratification every single time, and that's what the problem is. Because the problem is, and again, commitment. I didn't mean like putting more work. I need to put in you need to understand putting the right work. Okay, because like if you get, for example, if you say, no, now like I want to I want to work out more, I like that, and then I don't see the results. That sucks. And then like if you revert back to whatever habits it is, it's like saying, you know, I'm gonna stop because I put in the work. It doesn't pay off.
No. Jerry, I want to tell you, like, I know because you like Anthony Robbins, and I love Anthony Robbins, but there's a phrase that he uses. It's like, he says, you know, if you're running west looking for the sunrise, or the other way around, you know, running east looking for the sunset, you're never, so having a wrong strategy, you're never going to be able to overcome that. So I think that's absolutely the thing, that you're not trying to force me to do stuff that I just hate because the results are worth it. I think you're really bringing
it's like
a normal person and knowing where to tweak what, not just, you know.
This is our approach. This is like I can only relate to all of you and say, if you live in balance, you know, if you don't have something restricted, you're gonna be able to do it. If you are restricting yourself, you know, but what the message, like what the thing I wanted to explain to you to actually, I'm not disagreeing or anything. In fact, I want to make it like you get this on the right way. It's like there is results that you want here, and there is you putting in the work. Whatever, like the strategy needs to be in place, because if you have the strategy, you put too much work in and you get stressed off, and like the body doesn't show you results, then you can get drifted off, and you can get like all like confused. You can react, you know, like not caring, drinking, whatever like you want, but it's nothing to do with your commitment. You just use the wrong strategy. Okay, the results is here, but then there is people that go towards the results, they hit a wall, and then they shift off, they do something else. This is like saying, I'm gonna use liposuction to get the body I want, because I just don't have the patience to get the body that I want differently. Does it make sense? So it's like, there is people, you see a problem, you run through it until it times, and then like, of course, like if you realize that you're doing something for very long and it's not paying off, chances are the strategy is wrong. So it's nothing to do with you wanting to not wanting to change. The idea was that many people feel like they want to change initially, then they don't want to change. Like the change they have to make is because other people condition them. And the one thing you have to take home is like, if you want to do something, is because you want it. I told you in the beginning, remember when we talked, I said, look, why you have to be able to know why you want to drink. Because like if that's what you want to do, nothing is going to change that. But otherwise, like you probably can find an answer for that. So, you know, thanks for sharing that. I hope that this is what I wanted to get across. Girls, we got time for one more, and then I'm gonna restart this thing, and we're gonna start the hot seat. And those of you, I know that some of you came in for that, for some clarification from other things. Somebody else want to talk before I stop this and I restart it? Anybody? Raise hands. Connie. Welcome back, Connie. We got 4 minutes, Connie. Let's tell me share something, and then hopefully I have enough time to answer.
Yeah, it's really fast. I'm commitment because I see when I look at my mom what difficulties you can have when you're too heavy and you get older. Because I'm much like her. I got the same body, and she's got knee problems. She's got balance problem. Her digestion is not good. And that's all because she's really overweight, and I don't want to be like that. So I can stop it now by doing the work and really commit to it. And so, yeah.
And I was looking the other day, like when you were working out, you're looking fantastic. You improved like a lot. Like now you can see that like the body's completely shaping off, changing like another 10 kilo, you're gonna be amazing. Like you can actually be like, you're never gonna have to struggle with this again. And you know that I like to think that I really did a good job with this program, because I feel like I'm giving you the tools to maintain it.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, like you say, I want to go on my own. Like you get like, when the time you're ready, you're kind of like, see how I don't give you like just a meal plan. I don't tell you, just look at the meal plan. No, it's like you need to understand why. Like you need to understand that. It's like, that's why I was saying before, like when somebody tells me, no, what am I getting in the program? I don't even tell you what you're getting. Like you're getting the results. I know that much. Like, but if I tell you you're getting this and this and this, you're going to think like what you want. And then like, how is it that you want a meal plan? If I give you a meal plan, you wouldn't be able to follow it, because like there must be like, you need to learn how to fish. And this is exactly what I feel like this program is all about.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for everybody to show up. I want all of you to reload in if you want to just click one more time. We're gonna restart the whole process. There is the hot seat about another maybe like 30 minutes for those of you that want to be here. If not, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate you taking the time off, and hopefully this thing really taught you something new. I'm gonna restart and I'm gonna come back.